So I will be by dictionary. I'm here to the devices that is certificate. I'm here doing Saga new devices. I like to welcome all our new devices. And I'm one of the founding member and one of the cybersecurity for now. And we're going to present one of the interesting topic today or the devices. I hope you are excited. And now I would like to request our panelists to introduce. Charity, please.
Hello, my name is Shantati. I'm the co-founder and COO of Linux Exploring and Jigsaw. Cover up brand, a specializing in communication systems. As I do other boards or mediums, and I recently joined Lexus as an advisor.
Maybe Charity.
Hi, I'm Sarah Iyer. I work in consulting as a cyber risk management consultant. And prior to this, I worked in the security operations center. So not processing under, it's determining very false positive. And prior to that, I worked as a security operation administrator. And so I kind of single-handedly managed that program from the phishing to the vulnerability to getting compliance, certified. And so that's kind of the my trajectory right now.
Like Sarah. So yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to meet you all. So, my name is Elena City. I'm the co-founder and the chief operating officer at Masoto. I'm initiative where it resulted in secure digital transformation company. We help organization secure the asset and also help the compliance with our relevance regulations. And we also train individuals with able to get into security. Yeah. And so we really keep them.
Okay, let's take a little while. When you're going to the topic, let's start the discussion of the security budgets of the big gate support for the business. Management for the security budgets. So let's start at the management. So I'd like to ask, how do you balance the need for security investments with other business realities when the budgets are limited? Can I start with you, Charlie?
Yeah. This is my first speaking. I'm like speaking, so I'm super nervous. I wrote down my answers. I would say that stakeholders have a lot to consider in balancing a budget, especially when you're a small company, is always a challenge. There are a lot of great products out there, but they can be very expensive, and most of the time they have more features than what you really need. I would suggest start small and see how you can. I would focus on a risk assessment to identify your critical assets and focus your funding on areas with the highest risk. For example, for me, that would be client data. There might be some tools you already pay for that you're not fully utilizing, and you can look to the open source.
Okay, thank you, Charlie. Would you like to add anything like that?
Yeah. So when you're working with limited budgets, I think that's a problem that a lot of us have to deal with. And so piggybacking with what Chantal said, there's sometimes communities will realize that they have certain tools, right, that there are more features enabled that they have access to. I think of a classic example, like, for example, let's say you have an organization that has a certain amount of people that because you pay for so many licenses to, like, let's say Microsoft, you actually qualify for some of their tools for free because they're already paying so much into their subscription. So that's something that most companies don't realize that they have access to better cybersecurity tools. And so kind of thinking about a limited budget, you don't have to blow my Cadillac version of whatever it is. Just kind of think about what needs your business needs. Like sit down and think like, okay, what are the basic elements which you try to get here? And then like Chantal said, there's some great open source tools that you can use to kind of just establish a basic program, see how it's working, see what's not working with that tool, maybe you have to kind of add another feature. And at that point, there's ways that you can kind of modify, let's say, going with open source, you can modify that. Or at that point, you can realize, okay, this is what we like, this is not what we like. And then you can maybe start looking at that means you have that in mind. So you're not kind of going shopping blind, you're already shopping looking And that's again if you want to do the try as you go approach. So there's different ways to kind of go about it, but those are two strategies to think about.
Cool.
So okay, I will add judo as well things, the business alignment and also communication to business stakeholders. So when looking at areas to prioritize, look at projects that goes with the business, what the business is trying to achieve, the aims and objective of the business, and also communicating that with the different stakeholders and how security help them do their job better, how security help them do business better. We can focus on that and communication, community initiative.
That's right. Well, we all have this experience with you now. We all have like 20 years apart. And trying to mention about the acquired data and what the three don't with the students. I will repeat the question. How do you balance the leapers you need in this method other business areas? But just starting with it. Your experience with this sometimes, right? Related life. So overall, what do you think? We had about to start the business is first. What is the reality for the business? And what are the reality in the market? And how we can just describe the messages. So that will be giving us insight towards what we can do and what we can suggest as like the organization, right? That helps us to the management to take the decision and say it's not the reality that put it in the image of a day. Okay, the topic will move to the next one. Can you share a specific example when it's just going to be breach or a recent help just by an increased security by it?
Yes, as you might fantastic logic in that I will answer this with what happened with one of my clients. So one of the solutions look like at Marshall Day is tailored security training means for organization, and we also have an individual system. There was one client of ours, and they have security training already. Like most organization, one of those training that you just watch the recording either when onboarding or after 6 months you go out to meet again. I just give you a round of test. And they didn't see any need for them to have another tailored security awareness training or another featuring enforcement system. So what we did was to discuss about a similar organization, the organization, healthcare organization, and this happened last year. An healthcare organization that got suffered the ransomware attack. They actually, I think in Ontario, and of course, some of their clients did not get affected. And what we did was to present that case to them. And this attack actually happened as a result of a phishing email. One of the employees getting a phishing email, and they quickly realized how they can be that can be their own situation also. So yeah, the budget was out, and we were happy to do business with them.
Anything to add?
Yeah. To build off of what CD has said, he kind of within our consulting realm and within energy took the same kind of strategy. So often clients come to us and they say, look, we haven't had anything happen to us yet, like knock on wood, but we're so scared about the day that something does happen to us. And so often when we're kind of working with them, we try to make the case of, this is your industry. Here's examples, like we can get really specific in the industry, but like within the last year, here's some examples that we have found where, the company has sustained this cyber incident or this breach or whatnot. And we kind of show them, okay, this is how we parallel with your industry. This is how, they were attacked. And this is kind of what we know about the situation. So like going to your company, what are you doing to protect against this? It seems like within your industry, this is how attackers are beginning to kind of get in. So have you protected against those threats? Do you have those features in place, right? We think about examples like lending drugs, right? Lending drugs are breach. They actually did pay the ransom when they decided to kind of, rebuild everything from scratch. it was an expensive implementation. But from that, they learned to kind of create a more robust security program. Same thing with the college, Niagara College, right? You also are an example of a company that, thought, okay, what can we do better here? So taking that lessons learned, let's start from scratch. We build a strong foundation and kind of get it up. So, there's ways that you can pull those lessons learned to try to make yourself a little bit more prepared in case that happens.
Yeah. Exactly. Did you talk something about?
Yeah. So lesson to learn from us. We experienced a DDoS attack. Does anybody know what a DDoS attack is? Okay, so about 14 years ago, when our company first started, we had a DDoS attack in this. So for those that don't know what it is, a DDoS attack is when millions of infected computers target a single IP to cause disruption to the service or distract an effect. So the attack lasted about 10 days on and off, and it was really stressful, really terrible. We didn't really know what was going on. We had people coming down from Calgary, from Shaw, trying to figure out how to move them. Following this, we invested in DDoS protection, and thankfully we haven't been down since. But the incident made us realize that this type of attack existed, and we needed to invest to ensure our users stay online and our infrastructure remains safe.
Building examples, yeah. This is the name of we are at the city first day. As I mentioned, I found this just really hard and many examples in the day. So when I go share one, we must fix up. It is back home in the video. So I was 50 days back. That is what it's hard to and I not that this one seriously. But still getting a lot of but at least it's not full or good enough. And it's also one of the cities that the city has sent us. And I saw with the team, they said, I'm ready to see I'm running to send it to. And I told them that I was just sitting at why I was to give it. Then I found to know that he's not even involved. It's happening in my medicine, like a series. It is not even then. He is in the vicinity of the state. He's cool, sick. That a big it was a big challenge that is way by what happened to go in the moment. It's university. That that is so very cool. Security goals and so it is. No such one example, and it's all really high incidents in this aspect. It's really the serious experience here and environments and okay, so let's move to the next. What advice would you give to security officers who struggle with making the case for increased budgets and organizations that they have to face major incidents? I'll repeat. What advice would you give to security officers who struggle with the case for increased budgets in organizations that have to face major incidents? This is one of the challenging things to manage the management. Can I ask that?
Yeah. So making a case for your security budget if you have your part security incident. So again, like I said, sometimes our clients come to us and they say, we have yet to have a security incident. And so sometimes they kind of say like, yeah, so we don't really know how our company would handle that. And so the next question I'd ask is, okay, you want to make a case. Have you ever had an incident response test? Have you ever done a tabletop exercise? And so what that is you can kind of do that on an executive level, or you can do that more on an operational level, where you kind of say, okay, we're having a ransomware. What is the first thing that we would do? Go, right? And you kind of try to work through that. And so sometimes when you're kind of working through those situations, the adrenaline's kind of going through everybody, you get into the environment or get into the situation. And that's when you start realizing like, oh my gosh, we don't have PRs. Or, oh my gosh, we actually don't have, someone that can be calling in the middle of the night. Everyone would be kind of out. And so you start to realize the gaps are in there. And then when you kind of go through a situation or scenario, then you kind of can see, okay, these are, if you were to go through something, these are our gaps, and this is what our goals are. And so then you can start to think, okay, the case for we have these risks, how can we mitigate them, right? And then now you start putting a budget or start having a conversation with high level executives of, we actually clearly identified that this, we know how to do this today. We know how to backup program. We don't know how to do this case to product storage, to reduce them or whatnot, right? These are all like real life situations and views that come up with clients. And so having that kind of experience and having, controlled situation really kind of open the eyes, especially when you can kind of get the executives in the room. So that's an example that, of course, to maybe suggest.
Well, forget this one.
I agree. I think getting them, I would have like the entire security team get together, kind of go over some ideas of what can happen, see where you can improve and implement first. And then double checking the platforms that you're already licensed as well. Maybe there's the tools that are overlapping. And then you can go to your directors and show all that you've discovered. And then you can show how investing in securities for our business goals as well. So, I would say you should show them the cost of compliance, right? For example, GDPR, and the fine also 20 million euro or 4% of your annual revenue, the chairman's I am. And this actually it's one of my clients when Amazon was fined sometimes ago, and they didn't see why they need to put some things in place now. I think that's the cookies online, cookie compliant cookie consent. And when Amazon got fined, when Amazon got fined, the executives sit up and they do like, yes, we can actually be fined. And for you to be fined, it's a very serious amount of indicator. So showing them the cost of the compliance, and also showing similar organizations or other organizations that they have fine and actually help.
Yeah, I have to do all. This is not a one-time activity. We had to be out every day and we had to analyze what's happening with us and identify how this is related to our business, like this is assessments and related into this and mapping. So all these things give us some picture like how we are going to be mapping because we are technically, but we need to have how it is really important. So the security or self-security response and identify what kind of material has and really case the assessment of specific resilience of an assessment can help us to take the decision to describe the can even example that she didn't really the concept was this set up for every is the next. This is a very interesting thing. What are some common with these conceptions? Executives have or go off such as CD and how this is what is in this sort of settings. So when you're the management, all the management does need to have the same awareness and all this, right? So they will have their own misconceptions. How do we face them? How do we address them? It is
Sure. I would say that we try to understand how important it is. It's just a balance of knowing how much to spend in what area and what is the most important thing to protect. So I suggest putting together a presentation that outlines your immediate concern, ensuring it's very clear and simply outlined. You can share examples highlighting what happened with their organizations and how it impacted their reputation and ultimately sales. Perhaps that also entails showing how to hack a certain part of your organization to prove how vulnerable someone is, as seen as believing.
I agree. That I just go a long way to kind of, show an organization, hey, you say you're protecting this, but we just found out that actually you're not, right? You actually have those public protocols. They're regularly in that system, right? Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Metrics go a long way to show return on investment too, especially on like some of the tools that you're using. For example, when I used to be an operations administrator, we had a phishing program. And then so with that phishing program, we're able to track, like we're having an issue where first time clickers were a lot, well, most frequently the first time, or they were just new people or new employees company within the last 6 months. And so we designed a whole training program just to kind of target them and try to give a lot of knowledge. And so we were actually able to see that, people that were, it seemed like the percentage of clickers for new employees was something like 40%. And then it actually went down to something like, under 5%. And so we were able to kind of turn that around. And then so that's how we were able to see that, our learning management platform is actually being useful. And the videos that we're pushing out is useful because this is what our click rate was before. And then after we started pushing out content and trying to teach them to be more mindful, this is what it was before or now. So we've kind of shown that change and shown that case for this is why we should continue to invest in this. And this is why this tool is important. It's actually changing behaviors and overall making this company more secure.
Yeah. I think also present security as another cost the organization must pay for. I like to present it as an investment that can help us build the business better, an investment that can give us a competitive advantage over our competitors. For example, being SOC 2 certified, it's not just another thing the organization needs to pay for. It shows that we do, we take security seriously as an organization. It shows that clients will able to do business with us. They know that the data is safe with us, and also it gives us that competitive advantage over other competitors that can be in the industry. So presenting this as an investment that can help you do business better, rather than just something that you have to pay for, like just a cost. Will also help. And,
Yeah, this is important. Most of the activities is based on the grammar city and whether it's how the city can present, how the city can all the information and present the implementation. None of the one of the things that have missed about for this more to better on it. And mostly, it's because it doesn't have different convenience more than this process. We have a lot of the tools selected out of different activities, many people into this. We all know that we have the artificial intelligence and these tools or things that are considered with the accidents, of sense, incidents are ways. So we don't look bad, like how this human must get mad, where it is, and I love it. So it is not out this one to the power that's living with us. The important stuff that is also the say and the say. Okay, let's talk about prayer. Security, yes, fight very vulnerability, constrained budget, especially like the watching place, like I guess. Wow.
so that's one thing that I would like to establish is that incident can happen, right? And then try to always exist in their AI-driven products. So what we should focus on is prioritization. So when prioritizing, I look at two things. What is the criticality of the system that we're trying to initiate? And also, what is going to be the demands is sub-equation. So for example, if we have a critical system that is internet facing and we found a vulnerability was found on there, right? Compared to another system that's less critical, and the first system we're using for our day-to-day operations, and the other system, it's not internet facing, it's not that critical, compared to the first one. The fact that the first one is internet facing, we know that there's a lot of things that can go wrong. And this is a system that we use for our day-to-day operations. If something goes wrong, it's going to affect, it's going to disrupt the business. It means we're unable to operate maybe between 24 to 48 hours. It depends on how long it takes us to recover. So looking at the criticality and also how will be the impact if something goes wrong. Those are the two things that I look for when prioritizing. And it doesn't matter if an attack is AI-driven policies. Yeah.
That's it. For us within consulting, to me, I've kind of thought of it as the big three. So what is the company doing for phishing? right? How is the company protecting that? They say that the weakest link in your cybersecurity program is typically people, right? So typically when we're talking to our clients, we say, okay, like we do a whole risk assessment and we evaluate their posture. Okay, here's phishing, and are you training your users? Are you training specifically, your high priority, like high susceptible users, like the marketing, the finance, their executives, like all of those people are susceptible to relative phishing attacks. And then we kind of ask them, okay, what about your supply chain? How are you protecting that? Do you have a third-party vendor program? Are you vetting your vendors? Do you have security language embedded in your contracts? Are you actually offboarding them and then checking if their access has been disabled? Are you actually checking to see as well if they still have access to a data or whatever you use to demo? Is that data still in that environment? So those are kind of the things that we're going to ask them, and we measure up to, attacks, ransomware, the big one these days, right? On average in Canada, the average Canadian company will have a breach of about $7 billion. Well, we asked them, what are you doing for ransomware? What are you doing for your backup program? Have you done a tabletop incident exercise, right? So we kind of look at those big three. Those are kind of, some of the highest attacks that are high, like the most commonly reported. And we kind of say, are you measuring up to those? What controls do you guys have in place to protect your company?
Yeah, thank you. And to add to that, yeah, so they covered everything. I know. So I didn't come back to the realities. We can must think about what is easy cost and benefit. And what is the first point of getting this? We all know that noise is the first point of and you have secondary responsibility that is doing their own sort of you get their employees. Then a plus getting the vicinity have to also manifest. Another need of things so that the concept that bring the significant kind of balance was the currently budget can do that. Can do download this organization and yeah, this even though as you mentioned, she tools and able to make sense that the thought is really help us area and about where about the viewers mixing and everything. So we can identify because it focus on this that really helps. That is the I feel like that is the best way to prioritize and the possible logics. Good topic. Okay, let's I have one conversion question. So then I probably go on with the given questions. So in advanced intelligence, what is the key takeaway feeling some advice you would give me a student corruption regarding if you would block the main man, the student budgets. I'll repeat. In advanced intelligence, what is the key takeaway piece of advice you would give to security professional? Globally, that's you block them wise, but others budgets. Anyone can go first?
Yeah, I can go first. So security should not be seen as a mocker, should be seen as a business administrator, should not be seen as another cost organization needs to pay for. It should be seen as an investment. And you as a security person in the organization, lead the evangelist, empower your people and preach it. Let the organization know how security help them do business better. And always tie everything you do back to the business objective.
We often say, can't detect what you know is there. So when securing buy-in, the first thing is like you're not going to secure buy-in if they don't know what's there. They're like, oh, we only have 4 laptops, but there's like 200 people in this organization, So the first thing you got to do is like just find out what's on your system, find out what your data is, find out what your inventory is, get an idea of what that is, and then from there try to find out what your risks are. Get an assessment or do it yourself. Just try to think about, what are our gaps. And then from there, once you have that information, you have, information that your knowledge is that then you're able to make the best decisions possible. And then presenting that, like, you can kind of to like your executives or even within your security team. And you're at that point able to, start to make better informed decisions, right? And know what you need to start implementing and protecting.
Yeah, I could feel like that. People just
Yes.
yeah.
I would say don't get frustrated if you don't get approval right away. There might be something else going on if budgets are tight. Keep making your case for the need. Do extensive research, use your knowledge, and implement what you can in the meantime. Maybe there's a solution you didn't think of before.
Wow, good. Yeah, I'm feeling that you covered all the 7 things, so that is lovely. Yeah, no doubt things and regular validations like access and endpoints, regular checkups will helpful. And based on when we can take it off the decision and say what's happening, we tell us what we have and how critical that's going to be. Relatively, how much security is required by that. This awareness ongoing sitting there at validation, sitting there. That's what my past experience. I guess it. Not only like to move to the ball, like what needed in the five.
Any insights you would like to share? Examples? Anything that helped you guys in the budgeting?
I'm going to open up. You want questions? You have give us let's make it under the yeah, please go on.
All I'm focused on I've got that understand so security officer fine from that way of security so then yeah I just have this when I'm not there those how I state knowing how teams in the past actually showing how users how they close money, but security has changed very much in there. Sometimes I guess it translates to what it's going to be, and they just go in there, sign in, yeah, right to the whatever. As to move those induced from the industry to taking a few days.
Showing the value, right? Yeah. Yeah. That's good. Yep, this one.
So I have a question. So whenever any organization undergoes this kind of initiative, it's like a big deal for them to find the right skilled workers as well, like you mentioned. So what can be the key factor in deciding whether to go for in-house skilled worker or versus the going out to find it?
Okay. I did the same. Anyone would like to start? Regardless.
No, go say it depends on the criticality. I'll say give the part of the critical. The criticality of what you're trying to achieve. If what you have in-house can, first of all, the project you're trying to work on, if it's say very as something that's very high, the criticality is high, and it's not anything goes wrong, it can affect the business. And you're going to be sources that you have in-house and not take care of that. Then of course, when that is why consultants are there, they have the experience. They've probably seen this before and they can bring in their expertise and tackle the issue on time before something goes wrong. Or if it's not critical and they think it's something that the business can do, gradually, then saving that costs again, maybe saving that cost and maybe hiring one or two consultants to lead the team and can take initiative or one step at a time. Yeah, it just depends on how critical it is.
We're actually like working with a client right now that is kind of having that mindset of like, do we hire her in or do we scale up? And one of consideration is what is the workload of your current team, right? If your current team is doing like 5 different things, not necessarily in the same area, and they're kind of getting distributed and spread thin, then maybe they're not able to effectively contribute to that main area that we need to get into. And then that's a case for bringing on the people, growing the team, right? So that's something to consider. But if you have a team that, there's capacity and they're showing initiative and they're showing the drive to want to learn more and, they were willing to take on that role and, have that knowledge, then well, technically we're already invested in them, have that loyalty there, right? And have that dedication. Why not give them a chance?
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. I like it. So I'd like to go in the same page. It is not like stay hard also nowadays. We will check internally and we always they want to do crime internally and there is sort of the currency and the issue we make them more high. Most of the relations of the material solution they are just go for 250 and then they are looking at a lot of religion and so they high. As still checking the and see that they are right. Seriously decide they will like to try them and they'll put their report. So it depends on the organization and the situation and the budget and the effects on this. Anyone else? Yeah.
Jumping on like the last question and adding a different scenario. Let's say CEO working is down, is construction company. Right, so it's provided the student that's that to secure all the secure assets we have from. And then let's say it's a deep opinion, we have a cybersecurity challenge, something goes wrong, we have to that. So how do we prepare leadership team or convince a client to be through or I guess move on from that mindset where we first we have this term either speaking or a cybersecurity insurance issue you might have to worry about security or improving it or security posture. How that is.
Yeah, so you're already got this sort of some of those this one on the efficiency, this one of that very conditions. Then it just just plan as the is we have the insurance, but we are not up to the have the facility the limiting of thing to start day or that's very covered as we have to do different the situations. It's again our responsibility that's good for jobs to do the security and the this have to we need to take care of the decisions in that area. But I'm going to say this.
Even when the companies have cyber insurances, sometimes they fail to see all the clauses. There are like a lot of things that you need to do even when you have a cyber insurance. So that is like one more thing that, companies need to focus, I think. Right?
Yeah, it's our responsibility.
So what I said, I know, when we talked about cyber insurance, to talk about, this transfer, I prefer to move this share. So when you call this share, I have to see that. Not transferred, no longer was under responsibility to the insurance. You actually share, we can get a financial side of it, but there's still the burden on you as an organization. You have to recover from an accident. You have to get the trust issues, customer love, and have insurance. So I prefer to call it risk sharing or any funds as opposed to risk transfer.
Yeah, even though this. I would prefer me stopping. I'd say that cyber insurance is cost prohibitive for us, to be honest. And that not only that, when you fill out the application, there's some expectation that you pass off, that you have all these initiatives in place just to qualify for cyber insurance. So I would say if you have cyber insurance and you don't have a lot of those, I would review what their expectations are as far as organization, what you should have to make sure that you're not voiding your insurance. You definitely nowadays cannot in place because cybersecurity has been set up with all of just insurance is paid for. They will not and they will avoid yours. It could possibly void your insurance if you don't have this certain things and it's getting more and more legit.
Yeah, I want to add is, I feel like oftentimes when there is shown involved currently, they give a company abroad, they will run the decision of, you need to have this control, this, because never strict, this is how we expect, and you need to have strong conviction, but then they will not tell you, you don't use M5 or use a higher to sell. I guess the question is, how do we improve security function, right? Like, I'm sure most companies will have all the basic controls in place, otherwise, like, you mentioned, you won't be able to get the insurance. But I feel like that oftentimes once you have or meet some level, companies might say, okay, this is good enough. And you don't want to move on, we don't improve. So the question really is, how do we take it to the next level
Yeah.
after that?
Especially when we have more experience.
Exactly.
So then we gotta reconsider that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the strategic area. And it is depends on the direction and it will be a safe community in the home. The story from security corrections. So it's from the job making of ministry. You could be doing and bring the evidence to the answer because evidence wants to be low. Even though they've asked that is they would like to believe, they want to do home. It is their decision. Balance of decision. Our showing is put to do living in the Baramba. It is the balance in it. It is about this also. And I also feel we all have experiences as professionals here. And I know that is this is an interesting more people like slowly and all of this like and heart will feel very. So with that, we have to encourage the new homes into the service. We that didn't we have started this with the next industry. We are seeing that the way they in the moment. And I really choose that article one of just here. We find that the purchase really hard is very relevant to the number and here. So let us say that we choose this topic and we request all of you to encourage and support the newcomers as much as possible and how we can, if there is a department that is support them and that is what we are looking at and because we want to support this. We need people who can always have all the students around the things that we need, but we know well like all of us we can celebrate this humans that with the same right. So that's why because I think you all want to support this strategy like this and all this. Anything else you would like to add?
Yeah, I did really like in-house and outsourcing, right? But it's like, so I'm the able program manager to get in CISO. And so in terms of funding sources, like there's capital funding, and there's operating expenses, right? It's capital funding when you're talking about utilities on the perpetual software and servers and things like that. And operating expenses are for managed services and accounting rules, right? So if you get stock and then you identify that there. So it sort of influences the solution, right? If you have funding sources. So and in government where there are clear paths of funding, capital, fund control, federal government, and then operating expenses, like taxpayer funds, right? So do you find in solution do you find that comes into play, like in terms of what is proposed or for budget or approvals out of the end, is the operating is better than capital or capital is better than
wasn't government from the government side, so that's something to do with the capital. So you may not have a film.
yeah, so just it doesn't come up. That's it. Like it's very like I don't even know if it's on the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of the most happening thing we had in balance and just trying the characters of where you can accomplish from which you can only kind of on so go ahead. You have something to add? Okay. And anyone with anything?
The topic of cyber insurance discussing right now, I think even though it's cyber insurance is like heavy insurance if you compare to our insurance is like our last and being praying for the last and insurance here take right. Same thing with cyber insurance. If you have an incident, it's all insurance. unintentional and using details. You care to take care of these and then you should be able to share. But also, like cyber insurance are not going to take care of your reputation as a company. And what's worse, the level of trust clients are placed on you if you're a company which is offering services. So,
And I've been to a couple of conferences where a new company is popping up and they're saying, well, the host, we say the best to host, for example. So if there's gallery, just it's totally on them. It has nothing to do with us. So I just cringe. Like, why would I say that? No, it's not true. I'm saying insurance. Awesome.
On average, when we talk to our clients, we ask them, like, what's your max funding? What's the max that the insurance going to cover? And they go, 5 million. And I'm like, yeah, but I reaches that.
Yeah. So maybe
So we're just learning all this now too. So it's like working with cybersecurity insurance now, and would you also really with the companies so as part of their policies, their safety procedures, their everything like that. We get that hard, maybe trailing dog trains their employees, everything like that. So that everybody knows exactly what they need to do, where they need to go, and like even if you know first, like the information is there for them to be able to conduct experiences and be able to know what's good in the future because these policies that are put in place by the company themselves, not by, I guess, like an insulter or anything like that.
yeah, that's a good point you call the yeah, what since you even better all this then you para di ba you can you there dito the one since the day recorded video is on the mistakes. And not only that, the probably said yeah, awareness, sharing that in all the glorious events will help the should know like what we can, what we did, but in our standard is for always it's another position it's already you said it properly. That awareness is really more needed.
This framework's really good for that. There's certain frameworks that are really like it's you can almost use it as a checklist. Let's see, you take your incident response plan. You're just like, do you know what employees know what you have to do they know who to reach out to? Do they know what to do? If they know what communication lines, do they know, who they're gonna call? And then it literally yes. So no, we haven't talked to them about that. There's your gap right there. Right. So sometimes like you just like, oh gosh, you're so much right off. You're just like, well, get yourself a framework. And sometimes at that point, then you kind of like, what do you need to do? Call it that result providing a basic like, what you have to do.
And I think when you sign up for insurance, it's pretty intense. Like you have to go through a whole checklist and they want to make sure that you have softwares or policies in place before they'll even insure you just to kind of help them as well.
So we use time up. Thanks so much for letting you know to attending and participating. We can what have to all and have the use. Have them like such a thanks to BSides the way you do opportunity for access to the vision. Meaningful for all. And thanks everyone.